Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is we were going to be finishing chapter 10 today, and I kept saying the first 10 chapters are all judgment. The bad news is it's really the first 25 chapters that are judgment. So we got another 15 chapters of judgment of the nation of Judah. That's horrible, isn't it? But that's the way it is. The prophets kept telling them, kept begging them to repent and to turn back to God, and they just wouldn't do it. Well, in any case, in chapter 10, we have some words from the Lord again, and he has nothing nice to say. As a matter of fact, he just keeps comparing what the people are doing with what they should be doing. And at this particular chapter, he takes and he does a contrast between the graven images and the idols that they've been worshiping versus worshiping him. And so we're going to take a look at that. He says that the customs and the practices of idol worship are delusions. It's like a scarecrow in a cucumber patch. I like that. Like a scarecrow in a cucumber patch. He says they don't say anything. They don't do anything. They can't talk. They can't walk. And you're not to fear them. They can't hurt you. And so it's just like a scarecrow in a cucumber patch. That's a good phrase. I'll have to remember that one. And he says, in contrast, he says, but God is a true God. He's a living and everlasting God. And he created the heavens and the earth. And nations cannot endure him. God does not want any to perish, but here he says in verse 12, he made the earth by his power, established the world by his wisdom. He stretches out the heavens, and then he compares them again with the people of the day that are idol worshipers, and he says, he said they're stupid, devoid of knowledge, and the goldsmiths are deceitful in selling their idols. It just goes on and on and on, and he says it causes distress. Woe is me, he says, the tent is destroyed. And he goes on and says the shepherds are stupid. They've not sought after the Lord, and so they've not prospered. Tents are destroyed, and the shepherds are stupid, and they've not prospered. And he's going to make the land a desolation. You know, how many times do the people have to hear that? How many times do they have to hear that they're going the wrong direction? They're following after idols, which are like scarecrows in a cucumber patch. And they continue to be dishonest. They continue to be unrighteous, filled with iniquity. And yet, in comparison, there's a God that they could be following who created the heavens and the earth. He brings the winds and the rain, it says in these verses, and yet they will not listen to him. But there are three verses here that I want you to see, verses 23 through 25. So let's take a look at those. I know, O Lord, that a man's way is not in himself, nor is it a man who walks to direct his own steps. Correct me, O Lord, but with justice, not with your anger, or you will bring me to nothing. Pour out your wrath on the nations that do not know you, and on the families that do not call on your name. For they have devoured Jacob, they have devoured him and consumed him, and have laid waste to his habitation. Well, there you have it. Each one of us have gone our own way. Just like sheep, we've gone our own way. But he also calls out for justice against the nations that have destroyed the nation of Israel. And we need to look at our ways. We need to be seeing whether we're walking in our own ways, the way we want to walk, or whether we're walking in God's ways. Time to evaluate the walk that we take and whether or not they're his ways or our ways. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.